Hi friends. If you click to check out what might have happened when I walked into the MAC store, not knowing about their reformulation, I want to take a look at the newly reformulated, not only matte shimmers and whatever else type of texture I have in here, but the Dazzle Shadow Extremes, and please keep on watching. Hi, my name is Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I had no idea that MAC was reformulating their shadows. I waltzed in just to see what was new, and they had the, I believe it was the Alexa Demie display. Is that her name? Yes, the Alexa Demie collection. I actually had no idea who she was. I'm so sorry. Pop culture failure. Alexa Demie debuts major new and revamped formulas for eyes. Unlock supreme star power with all new Dazzle Shadow Extreme and revamped eyeshadow, then boost your brow game. So alongside the reformulations, there was an eyebrow fiber gel, which I did not pick up, maybe eventually, but the eyeshadows were like on my radar. When the associate mentioned that they were reformulated and I felt these shadows, I was like, oh wow. And I gave it a day, and I thought about it. I was like, ooh, I just want them all. So not only did I get the mattes and the frosts and whatever other texture that was in the display, I also got the new Dazzle Shadow Extremes. Apparently, this is a new revamped kind of hybrid formula from the Dazzle textures that they had in their collection. But the most notable thing about these Dazzle shadows is the fact that they not only come in the visually packaged eyeshadow pots, but they come in pro pans, which was apparently unheard of. The MAC associates over at Nordy's swore that they will only come in the individualized packaged pots, but they do indeed come in the single pans. And they were like, what? I was like, I know. So if you are a pro, in addition to your 40% off discount, I think that's what the percentage off is, you can get the new Dazzle Shadow Extreme textures in your pro pans. Now, of course, I got the Big Mama House palette. This is the one that houses 2 inserts and you have the plastic divider here. I decided to get the 15 pan inserts. You could get like 9 on one side, 2 big blushes on the other, or however you want to organize it. And of course, I needed a 6 panner so I could fit all the shadows. This is not to say you have to get the new MAC shadows, friends. Because of my channel, and a huge thanks to you for your support, for watching my videos, not only once, but over and over again with my tutorials, for using my affiliate links, I had enough to buy these shadows. Would it have been great to get the pro discount? Sure, but I don't think I deserve a pro discount because although I consider myself a makeup enthusiast, I'm not a makeup professional in that I don't get paid to apply makeup on people. So it's totally fine, but listen, I haven't used MAC shadows in a long time. And I actually asked one of the associates at Nordstrom and asking her what her feedback was amongst the pro community with this new reformulation, because I feel sometimes consumers' experience of a shadow formula is different from a pro's, and what usually a consumer likes is not necessarily what a pro would like in terms of shadow performance and texture. She had said that these are a huge hit in the MAC Pro makeup community, and the background details are that these are not as hardly pressed, so they're a little softer, but they're not so soft that it gets everywhere like an ABH matte or even, dare I say, a Demie Cosmetics matte, right? Which I feel aligns with a lot of indie brand textures in terms of the matte formulas. In that category of the makeup space, I feel they could be very powdery. I feel like MAC and Inglot always used to be very hard pressed, but these actually remind me of Sydney Gray shadows because I don't feel her mattes are hard pressed either. So these are like in an interesting category all on their own. And although I haven't tried the new Makeup Geek eyeshadows, eventually I will down the line. I will very much like to make those comparisons in the future. Now, it is my time 4:04 and daylight savings time, yes, maybe brought in an extra hour of filming for me to do so with natural light. So depending on how long we can use this light will determine how many shadow looks we get in this one video, and that will be the deciding factor if this is a part 1 of a part 2 or just the only part. we shall see. Some quick details about the products if you want to know. Let me see here. Oh God. Oh God. These weigh in at 0.5 ounces and they are made in the US of A. I will put down below in a pinned comment the suggested shelf life because the boxes are out by my door to recycle and I have to grab that info from the actual package. Now I actually have them on my eyes right now. I could tell you now that I have, let me see here, I have Mo Money, Mo Problems with Where's the Wi-Fi, and then I have the mint shade on the inner corner, and on this eye I have this beautiful like midnight slate blue shade. I have like a bunch of stuff going on. I've been having a blast with these shadows, friends. Spoiler alert, I love this new reformulation. They last all day. I applied this like 6:30 this morning, and like I said, it's 4 o'clock now in the afternoon. I mean, that's not bad. Like the vibrancy is there. You want to come a little closer? Why don't you roll right in? So here is what I have on. So this faded a little bit, but I think if I would have applied maybe one of Linda's crayons to create a much stronger color base, this would have stuck more successfully. But this, check that color richness out, friends. That is outstandingly beautiful. I am so thoroughly impressed. So if that's the end of the video for you, well, thanks for watching. But I also want to demo a few of the shadows here on this video. So let's take this off and I'll be right back. What shall we start with first? On the list though, I do have the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Let's start with these shades here. Rose Before Bros. Going my Wingas number 3 from his anniversary 2 set. These mattes definitely are a little softer pressed, but not a ton. Again, I could successfully punch my brush in without the residue or kickback getting everywhere. And this is a beautiful plum rosy mauve color. That's just really nice. And I think these are so easy to blend, but also really lovely to build. Now we could go really pinky with this shade, or we could go a little more cool with this shade. Same brush with now coral, the very edge of Rose Before Bros. And that's going to give us a really beautiful gradient of plum to coral, yeah? And I'm pulling it in towards the brow as well. What does this mean? Esam S33 with Shady Santa. Now on the outer V, I'm pulling it from the base of the lash line in towards the outer V shape and then whipping it in towards the crease so we could create that smoke. And I'm using the brush to create that shape. Bring it in a little more towards the crease. Not bad. Isn't that such a nice combination? I love it. Let's use one of these Dazzle Extremes. Well, they're all my favorite, but one of my top 3 out of the favorites that I claimed is Incinerated. This is an interesting texture. It's very creamy, very creamy. You have to, I find the best application is with the finger. As much as I love Incineration, it's a beautiful shade. The texture is a little more cakey than the other Dazzle Shadow Extremes in this collection. I would say maybe go in with it wet first, but just know that the sparkle is not as prominent as it is in Joie de Glitz, which you will see in the next eye look. A lot of people gave this a really bad rating, but I wanted to keep you updated on that shadow's performance if you decide to go ahead and buy it without actually swatching it in store first. And you're like, ugh, you can experiment with the brush. It's gonna be a lighter veil of color, definitely a lighter texture, but you know, I mean, you wanna get that on the lid, okay? I find it best to press onto your lid first and then you pull it across and use your fingertip to gently pat it down and around the lid. Isn't that just a beautiful shade? Oh, now if you want more shine, you can definitely, if you want more shine, you can definitely wet it, and that will help you better carve in and around that area of the eye. Wetting Incinerated with my Max Fix Blush and using that to apply a little more shine and also carve under the crease. Now I would go in with it wet initially, because what will happen, see how it kind of textured up here, is because there was a lot on the lid already, and I think combining the wet and the dry made that happen. So definitely go in with it wet or dry and decide from there. Just going in with a little more Shady Santa with that same brush, patting along the edges so it can have a seamless transition. Now, Memories of Space. I thought, why not? We'll use this as our inner corner highlight. Just, you know, with my Smith 256. Now this is a very light pale yellow. I could only imagine if I wanted more from it, I would apply this on a white base or something much lighter than what I have here from the soft ochre paint pot. But I think that's such a nice moment to have on the inner corner with the rose mauve color story we have on the majority of the lid. I'm taking Incinerated with the same brush and pulling it over the edges of Memories of Space. That's fun. I love that color choice. And just a little zhuzhing with my S33. Rose before bros on the lower lash line. And that's with my Hakuhodo J5529. Shady Santa, same brush on the outer part of the lower lash line. Curl to further buff the lower edge and just bring everything together. Tutu Good. Actually, no. Celebutante, another Dazzle Shadow Extreme. My Isam S31 on the inner lower lash line. This is a beautiful magenta shade that I feel just pulls everything together between the mauve and the yellow we got going on. And you could go as wild as you want in terms of pulling it down, or maybe this is your inner corner color of choice. Memories of Space, pulling it a little more down so we can combine both shades. All right, what are we gonna do with this eye? We gotta go in with these. I know you wanna see this in action, okay? Marsh with my Isam G34. Gonna buff that in the crease. You could also use this to buff out the olive shade if you happen to put that on first. I think this has a little bit of sheen to it actually. This might have been more of a satin if I'm not mistaken. Sonergy Jumbo Blender with more money, more problems. Punching that on the outer V first, and I'm pulling it across the crease as well. Isn't that simply to die for? I was very much impressed, and this actually sold out already in one of the pro stores here in New York. I was like, whoa. The pro pan, if anything, I think they had this shade available as the individual, but not in the pro pan. They were totally out. Going with my Isam S33 with that same shade, and now pulling it more across the crease and using the first shade to just buff it out. Even just this all over the lid is a look. That's all you need. You probably don't even need that first shade we went in with. You could just go in with more money, more problems across the crease, across the lid, and be done. Now, if you want to go in with Marsh, we could have used Marsh to blend that out, or we could put in a little bit and more here on the inner part of the eye. And that's going to give it like a mossier type of effect. So depending on which shade you pair more money, more problems with will determine the overall feel of the look. But that is such a beautiful color. Marsh, today I blended out More Money, More Problems with Where's the Wi-Fi, and that took on more of a vibrant hue. And I feel these colors are just so beautifully selected in that you could steer the same shades in different directions depending on how you combine them. All right, friends, you're not even ready for this Dazzle. You're not even ready for this Dazzle eyeshadow. Joie de Glitz. This one right here is probably one of their best ones, hands down. It's just so beautifully shiny, and it stays on all day. I had this on all day yesterday. The shine stayed. It did not fall on my under eyes. It stayed on my lid, and it looked dazzling and shiny for like 10 hours. Look at that. Amazing. Now we could go in with this gold color, which I think is beautiful for an inner corner moment. What do I have over here? We got some beautiful moments here too. I think this is like the bronze Dazzle eyeshadow. Ooh, what can we do? This shade right here, you're not even ready for it, friends. If it ain't Baroque, get it? Baroque style of music. Baroque. Taking my Smith again. This isn't Dazzle eyeshadow, but it has really nice that. Oh, this is pretty. With the Joie de Glitz is gorgeous. What can we put here? Ooh, I know what I want to do. Let's go, what's the Wi-Fi? Because having an inner lower lash line matte moment when it's this type of a color, I think you can't beat it. It's just so fun, like why not? I find the best way to get the most color payoff from this shade specifically is to tap it on or go in, wait a minute, hold on, wait. Hold your freaking horses. I'm gonna wipe that off as successfully as I can. Go in with Linda's white core crayon, back in with what's the Wi-Fi, and then over that core crayon. I feel that's gonna show up a lot more bright. More money, more problems on the majority of the lower lash line. There you go. Just creating a seamless transition from that lime to olive. All right, let's slap on some lashes and I'll be right back. Here is the finished look. I have the Ardell Wispies in Studio Effects in the Demie Wispy style. They're a little too big, but these were the first ones that I grabbed. I much rather would have liked their natural or their naked lashes rather in 421, but it's okay. On the lips, I have the Mel Thompson and Christian Aldette collab lip liner in Smooches, topped with Gucci's lipstick in Penny Beige in their satin finish. What can I say, friends? I am so thoroughly impressed by these shadows. I know we didn't use all of them today, so I decided to do, while putting on these lashes, that I'll come back here and do 2 more looks so the videos are shorter and I just have more videos for you, if that's okay, because I definitely want to show you all these shadows in action. So that's how I'll go forward and dissect the content. But also, I didn't want to overwhelm you in one video in showing all the shadows that I purchased, thinking that you might have to buy all of them or you can't decide. So we did the olives today, we did the plums today, and again, you don't have to buy all of these. You can maybe buy 3 or buy 0 or buy as much as you like, but I just wanted to show you that I am thoroughly happy with the reformulation, and they will eventually reformulate all shades in their collection, all finishes, all textures. I've been using these for the last 2 days and it is a joy. It is a complete delight. All the looks that I created were phenomenal. I received so many compliments on them, but the most standout feature of these shadows is their staying power. I mean, marvelously beautifully long, and the fact that the dazzle and the shine stays intact all day and the mattes maintain their color richness all day. They don't fade, they don't look gray, or they don't look light on the skin. They just stay on so beautifully saturated, and it is, I was just like, oh wow, these are nice. So let me know down below what you think of this demo. If there are other shades in specific you want to see. I wanted to quickly do a few comparisons though before we wrap up, between More Money, More Problems and a couple of other mattes that you might have in your collection. So here's More Money, More Problems. That is the, I mean, look at that freaking swatch. I have the single from Sydney Grace. It was from her Mountain Trail bundle. This is in the shade Wildlife. Now she might have a color that's more similar to this one. This one's a little more olive and this one's a little more, like, there's a little more brown in there, or yellow rather. It's still a beautiful shade, but if you want more of the green, then definitely take a look at Sydney Grace's collection, because I feel like she might have something that's more on the green side. And I have Leo from Melt Gemini. I mean, this is a classic indie olive matte, but I feel though the matte from MAC is a better quality, or just a better matte altogether. I feel like these are beautiful, absolutely, from Gemini, but I feel this layers better when you combine it with the other shadows. That has been my observation thus far. And Kaleido's Futurism 1 in Sci-Fi Green, they have 2 olives in here, Smog and ET. ET, specifically this shade here, I feel is a nice olive. If you already have this palette, let's swatch it next to MAC. This one's a little, I feel they're similar in shade. I feel the MAC has a little more green, but all in all, these look pretty olive, right? So if you already have any of the palettes I presented, I think you're good. But if you want the MAC Olive in More Money, More Problems, you will be very happy with it. I just love how it blends. I love how it layers. It looks color rich when you combine it with the other shades. We combine it with that satin shade. What is it called? I think it's a satin finish. Let me take a look here. It just says Marsh. Marsh is the shade we applied initially on the crease before we went in with More Money, More Problems. It has a little bit of a sheen, but I think it's such a beautiful combination, right? If you wanted to steer it more like avocado, then you can combine it with What's the Wi-Fi, or why not Memories of Space if you wanted to steer it more yellow. But I really love what we did with Marsh. You could have combined it with this color, Stone, I believe this is called. I applied this, Sandstone, excuse me. I applied this with the Midnight Slate Blue shade. This is a beautiful shade to blend out any blue that you have that you wanted to still appear cool in tone and not so, it's not so gray. It's just a perfect tone of like a sandy color, as the name implies, and I just love how it blended this out. It was smoky, but it wasn't dull looking. It was gorgeous. So we'll definitely combine those shades in another demo when I come back on camera. And these Dazzled Extremes, friends, I mean, it's a little crazy. This, I believe, Emerald Cut, something like that, is a beautiful color. And this Discotheque, I believe this is what it's called, this silver, out of this world. You're gonna have a blast if you pick one up, several up. And this shade, I don't know what this finish is called. I applied this morning, that Showbiz baby. It's like a matte. I feel it's a matte with the shimmers, okay? It's a matte with the shimmer. I don't think it's a shimmer. I think these is a matte-ish type of a base, but it's so glittery and shiny, and it's not chunky, and it's so easy to apply and even blend. You could tap this on the lid, or you can blend it across your crease. You could go in with whatever application method you want, but the shine on is too much to take. So we'll definitely come back on here, friends, but needless to say, this was an investment well worth it for me. I'm going to keep using these suckers, and I just love the fact that I could put them all in here, right? Or I can mix and match them, whatever, however I want to do it. I actually have the blush 9-panner, if I could freaking find it. So I bought this and have my 2 blushes here on this side, and then I have the 6-pan insert here, so you could just press that in. And I feel this is just beautiful to travel with. It's not so heavy, but it feels heavy duty enough that it's secure, and I feel the shadows are protected in here. And then you could take these out, and you have the inserts here to carefully pop these out. And these are pretty easy to pop out too. You just have to tilt them in a way that you could get your spatula wedged in, and they pop out really easily if you want to rearrange them however you like. So yes, I love the new reformulation. I can't wait to use them more, and I can't wait to come back here and share my experience with you. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another tutorial. Get ready with me. Mac demo, favorites list, or Friday night chit chat. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.